Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Max Shoots Film. Okay, today we are in the editing office. All right, so this is where, I do all my scanning. I edit my scans. I also record podcasts in here and edit these videos right here. Okay, why are we in the editing office today? Well, I've just given one of my good friends, Max, his dad shoots film on Instagram, his first film camera. And I also sent him a scanner, and he's been asking me scanning questions. So it was like, you know what? I think this is helpful to a lot of people. Like, how do you edit your film scans from the lab? Now, quick disclaimer, and I'm gonna try to not go on a rant on this. I've recorded this several times because I do kind of go off on this. There are some people in the community, the film community, and the photography community as well, that feel like editing an image in any way, shape, or form is wrong, impure, cheating, whatever. They have emotions regarding that. First of all, don't worry about what other people say. These are your images. When you put these out in the wild on social media, their final edit is a representation of you, your vision, and your skill set. So if you take an image of a camera and you get it back from the lab, and whatever vision you had when you snapped that shutter, if that is not present in that image, you have every right to edit your photo, you on that photo. The film community doesn't. Edit it, bring it up to where it needs to be. Long story short, it's your image, it's totally okay. I mean, you're the one responsible for your image. Okay, so we are going to edit our images, specifically ones received from the lab. So the images I received from the lab are pretty different, obviously, than the ones I scan at home. I'm gonna do a whole separate scanning video so I can show that important edit process as well. This is really targeting, hey, I sent my stuff off to the Fine Lab. That's who I use. I really love their scans. So we're gonna edit 3 images that I received back from the Fine Lab. And you'll see that it doesn't take much to take a flat image and really bring it to life and make it pop without overdoing it. But saying overdoing it implies that there's some way to overdo it. There is no wrong way to edit your photo, right? Just because I think it isn't X, Y, or Z doesn't mean it's right. Art is subjective, photography is subjective. Most things in life are subjective. Don't worry about everyone else, just get the look that you want in there. Okay, we're talking a lot, not editing a lot. Let's change that. We're gonna hop right into the computer, and we're gonna edit these 3 images. Hopefully this is a short video. We'll see. All right, guys, let's get after it. Okay, so we have Lightroom loaded. I have imported 3 photos. These photos are scans, JPEGs, from the Fine Lab. Let's look through 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the Fine Lab usually gets them pretty doggone close to where they need to be. I'm just gonna go in and make some light edits myself. First thing I notice when I'm looking at this image is it's slightly flat, and the white balance is a little off. I see a little bit of green throughout the frame, so let's go ahead and fix that. There's a couple ways to fix white balance. The first one is this eyedropper. You'll select that, and what you'll want to do is find a neutral color in your scene. White, black, or very specifically 18% gray. Long story, but just look for something gray like concrete. All right, I'm going to select this white area. Bam. Okay, I really like what that did. You'll see over here it adjusted these sliders. This is another way you could edit white balance manually. If the scene is too blue, move the temperature over towards yellow. If it's too yellow, move it to blue. Those offset each other. Now, if you have a really green look throughout the image, move it towards magenta. If it's too red, magenta, move it towards the green, and that will offset itself there. So you can use the eyedropper, which will move these for you by selecting a neutral area in the frame. You can also adjust it via temp and tint, and then you can also use HSL sliders, and we'll use that on another image here shortly, so stand by for that. Okay, so we have the white balance set. I think it's still just a smidge too red. So what I'm gonna do is go in, take some of this red out. Let's go that way. But it'll quickly go to green because this is a Fuji film stock, Fuji Pro 400H. Okay, looking good there. So now I go down. Let's go right into highlights. Highlights, whenever I'm making adjustments with these sliders, there's a way you can put a mask over it and see what you're doing. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key on the keyboard. While I'm holding down the Alt key, I'm going to left click the mouse and drag right or left. And you'll see in that top, this area right here, did you see how it lit up? And what that's telling me is that white part and that green light that you see, those are parts that are blown out. What it means when part of the frame is blown out is there is no data there to recover. It's too black or too white. It's pure black, it's pure white. So what I'll do is I'm holding down the Alt key, pressing the left button on the mouse, and then I'm sliding it until all that disappears. Bam, it's all gone. That's no longer blown out there. And then you just proceed down the sliders, right? And you do this at first based on, fixing areas that are blown out, but then you adjust it to taste. Don't let this drive your image, right? Because then you're just doing what the machine could do itself if you said auto expose this. All right, so let's go to shadows. Holding down the Alt key, left clicking the mouse. I took it all the way back. I didn't blow out any shadows. So let's see where we want it to be. And you'll see if I go too dark, like watch her hair, watch all the dark shadowy spots, you lose all the detail there. And I want to have a little bit of detail in her hair, but not too much where it's crazy. Okay, that looks good. All right, let's go to whites, pressing the Alt key, left clicking the mouse, sliding it. Bam, I got it to blow out in that top left corner. Let me dial that back. Okay, there we go. Down to the blacks, Alt, left click your mouse, slide it back. You see it starting to blow out. I'll take it back the other way. Bam, done. Now I want to go in and work on these eyes because they're deep in shadow. Now, some people are probably going to lose their mind when I do this. They're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. Well, welcome to #current year. All right, so I'm going to use my adjustment brush right here. Click that. And there may be some previous settings from what you did last time you were using the brush. Just double click the word effect and it'll wipe out all those settings. So you make sure you start with a clean brush every time. The goal that I'm trying to accomplish with this edit is lighten her eyes, but I want to do it tastefully where it's not like ridiculous, because you'll see images online where people way over brighten the eyes and over sharpen them and it looks ridiculous. So I'm going up a quarter of an exposure value. Let's pull the shadows up a little bit. Okay, now let's start painting. But before we do that real quick, let me just show you your brush settings down here, right? I want it feathered 100%. That means it's like a gradual fall off of the effect that you are applying from center to edge of the circle of the brush. Secondly, the flow. How much paint or effect is flowing through your tooltip onto your image. I like to slow it down a little bit. That way I can control it. And then you can just brush on layers, and they are, they accumulate. So like you can put down one swipe, two swipes, and just really build it up tastefully instead of just nuking it. All right, I'm going to change the size of my brush with the open and close brackets. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to paint it on. I'm using my left mouse button. I'm staying away from the pupils, and I'm staying away from this black rim. I'm just lighting up the interior. I'm going to lighten this catch light in her eye up. Okay, and you can see what you've done here. See this little switch? See, it's really subtle. Okay, let me get this other eye real quick. Paint this up. Here we go. All right. Looking good, looking good. Okay, you know what? Let's zoom out just a hair. When I say just a hair, I know it's not going to be a hair because I overdo everything. Here we go. Whoa. Yep. Okay. Select the brush. Okay. And I'm turning the effect on and off. Okay, didn't overdo it. Now I want to paint a new brush over top of this. I'll click new. Kill the effect, and I want to sharpen these eyes slightly. So I'm going to go down very tastefully. Don't overdo it. That's good. Now let's expand our brush, spin her around, just one pass over that, and then I'm going to trace the line of her eye all the way around just to make it pop. Just one time, nothing dramatic. And these are all very small adjustments, but when you add them all together, it's a very pronounced effect. I'll hit these eyebrows real quick. Perfect. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. So if you want to see, all your changes and how the before and after, just hit the backslash key. There's before, after, real subtle, good color in the switch. See how dark the shadows were? It was way too contrasty here, and I like contrasty. Okay. All right, so we're almost done with this edit. One more thing I would do is general overall sharpening. Scroll down to your details panel, expand that. You want to do this lightly because this sharpening sharpens everything, even grain and noise. So I'm going to take it up. Let's do about 23 is fine. And that applied to the entire frame. But I want to selectively sharpen things, not the entire frame. So my sharpening's up. Now I'm going to hold down the Alt key and then slide this across. And I can see the white lines you see there, that's what's going to be sharpened. So as I drag it to the right, I'm saying, hey, put less mask on this. A mask is something overlaid to apply an effect. The effect in this case would be sharpening. So I'll just take it back. Yeah, I think that's perfect. I'll let go. Bam. Okay, now let's do the backslash just to see what it looks like before. Get this out of the way. After, before, after. See the eyes? It's very subtle. It's not overdone, but it's perfect. Okay, great. 1 down, 2 to go. Here we go. Next one. This one has a pretty bad color cast in it. So go back to old school where we're going to adjust the white balance. But see, there's nowhere really to click here. So let me try just one thing. Here's some sidewalk down here. Yikes, that's not it. Let's undo that. I'm going to go right here into the temp sliders and adjust it myself. I want to take it down just a smidge. Okay, let's get some red in there. Yeah, I think that looks good. It's a little red. Let me dial that back just a hair. Okay. Now this is, you can see it's slightly leaning more towards the lighter side. So I'm just going to knock that down a bit to bring back contrast, deepen the shadows, and see how my entire histogram is shifting backwards and more centering it. I like that. Let's stay there. Jump right into the highlights. Here we go. Going to hold down Alt, left click mouse, drag it until I blow them out. Nope, can't blow them out. That's film. All right. If you go too far to the left, removing highlights, an image can get really flat and it'll make skin look weird. So don't ever completely get rid of your highlights. All right, let's go down to shadows, see what we can do. Yep, can't blow shadows there. So let's just bring it up to taste. You'll notice noise hides in the shadows. So if you take the shadows all the way up, there's going to be a ridiculous amount of noise. See? Let's bring that back, hide that noise. Bam. Let's see if we went too far. Okay, there you go. Just adjust it to your personal taste. Down to whites, Alt, hold down. Yep, we can completely blow that image. Here we go. There we go. Let's bring it back just a smidge. Let's go to blacks. Take it the other way. I think too much black there, It's everything's disappearing in the shadows. Let's bring it up just a hair. And you know what? I'm gonna take this down one more notch. Bam. Okay, let me hit the backslash. Before, after. Before, after. I'm still not loving that skin. First of all, let me fix the crop. Come in here. Let's just do this. There's the crop. Much better. Let's see what's going on here. She has a little acne on her chin. I'm going to fix that. I will remove temporary marks such as abrasions, blemishes, pimples. I mean, you owe that to your client. But, of course, if it's a permanent thing, that's a discussion you want to have with your client. Hey, is this permanent X something that you want removed in post, or do you want to, keep it? Totally up to them. Okay, 2 images down. Last one, guys. I really love this image. I love how they got the white balance so
proper on this image. So I'm not going to mess with the white balance. What this image tells me when I look at it, it's kind of flat. I need some contrast to delineate areas. But, you know, that's going to pretty much solve itself once we go through the motions here. Going right to highlights, holding down the Alt key, left clicking the mouse. Can we blow out any part of the frame? Nope. But I think it's just too over the top. Let's take the highlights back to about there. Jump down to shadows, hold down Alt. Let's go. Nope, can't blow out the shadows, but we don't want it to be ridiculous. Okay, can still see detail in the hair. Got that. Down to whites, Alt key, left click. Let's go up. Yep, okay. Okay, looking good. Last one, blacks. I push it till it blows out, and then I pull it back right there. And I would probably straighten this a little bit too, but I don't want to chop off too many more of our fingers, so let's just do this. There we go. Remember, backslash to see before and after. Before, after, before. See how subtle it is? It was a pretty flat image with just very little contrast. We just hit the edges and cleaned it up. I mean, that's good. Okay, so normally these edits take me like 30 seconds. Talking through it, explaining the motions took longer. They weren't too dramatic of modifications. They're very subtle. They look very natural. But it's totally up to you. You can make it unnatural if you want. It's your image. Do you? There you go. I mean, we have 3 images. Pretty good. Before, after. There we go. Before, after. Before, after. Subtle changes, big difference, increases the quality of that image exponentially.
So there it is, my editing workflow. You guys know all my secrets now. It's pretty much, I can just pack up, I'm done. No, but seriously, so everything that I showed in that video, I bet on film shoots, I've used all of those editing techniques together, maybe once or twice. But it's good to have all those tips in your toolbox, so if you run into a situation, you can use it. But the main thing I want to drive home is keep it as simple as possible. It's subjective, but I really feel like a lightweight edit goes a long way. I mean, we're shooting film already. We already have like that look baked in. Really, my opinion, from an editing standpoint, I'm just trying to accentuate it, but not change it. But I really love all the variations of film photographers out there, so show me what you got. Comment down below if you do anything slightly different. I think this will be a great video for new photographers editing their film scans to learn quite a bit. So the comment section, as long as it can stay tasteful, it should be very beneficial to future viewers of this video. All right, guys, so if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you like this type of content, give me a subscribe. I try to put videos out as frequent as possible. I definitely put out podcasts every week. Grainy Days Podcast, Days with a Z. You can listen to that on all of the available podcast listening apps. Check me out on Instagram, Mac Shoots Film. I have a website where I post full sessions, macshootsfilm.com. And like I said, the podcast, check that out. Also, the podcast has an Instagram page, grainy_days with a Z _podcast. Check that out. We highlight film photographers each week. And who knows, if you follow us, we can check out your work and you may be one of those photographers highlighted. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll be excited to read the comments down below. See you soon.